We're Kim and Al. Last year, we made some pretty big changes. We retired, sold our house in the city, and moved north to an old farm homestead at the end of its life. Our plan is to build an off-grid home ourselves. This year, with our solar and septic systems completed, as well as basic four-season shelter, we're ready to take on the challenge of building our forever home. We're excited to share our experience as we continue to create this new life on the North River. Hi guys, so Al and I are just finished shoveling our property. We got a bunch of snow the last couple days, and that essentially means the entire property, all of the paths that we had shoveled before are completely covered, and we had to shovel them all out again. We need to get down to the river today to be able to fill up our 65-liter tank because we want to be able to dump our black water today. We do have the trailer completely full for showers and dishes, but we don't have our backup tank full. So we need to fill that up so that when we dump, we are able to clean out the sensors and the lines after that with the pump. So we are going down there and we're going to have to open that hole back up because it is iced over. Al had left the board and the insulation off simply because we're starting to get a lot of change in the weather. So it's going really, really cold, and then it's getting warm again, and then it's getting really, really cold and getting warm again. So we're getting a lot of freezing and thawing down at the river, and it's actually become a bigger job to try and get the board and the insulation off, and some of it's actually gotten stuck in the ice underneath. So that's kind of a bad solution, and it just makes it a lot more difficult having to actually use the axe to get that up every time we go down for water. So Al and his Uncle Ted came up with a solution this week, and we're going to be putting something together for that. But in the meantime, we're just going to start filling up the trailer so that we can get the black water dumped and get that out of the way.
Never up, never down, never like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again. Stronger than I.
I'm not sure if you can see it there, but there's green underneath the ice, and that's where we've lost a little bit of the pieces of the insulation when it got frozen over. So we're gonna have to watch that as everything starts to melt and make sure that we don't litter out here. We want to make sure that we get that back up.
I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump. Oh, what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been.
So what's the plan with all of the leftover stuff?
What's the dealio? Yeah. So we were just, you're gonna put this down. Let me just show you this really quick. We were down at the water re-chainsawing a hole in the ice because we left the foam off, the insulation off, and just in the one night that we had -20 weather, it froze about 3 inches thick. So I used a chainsaw, reopened it up, and then had a conversation with my Uncle Ted a couple of days ago, I guess, when we were talking about this, and we both kind of came up with the same idea. I was thinking of building a box, or coming up with something that we could sit on top of the ice and then put a lid on that, because up till now we've been just laying the foam board right across the ice, and they're slowly getting beat to death and busted up, and it's leaving chunks that are freezing into the ice, and we'll try and get those in the spring when it starts to thaw, but I really don't want that to get into the water and float downstream and be garbage in someone else's yard. So just happens that we have 4 of these wooden boxes. They're actually really well made. They're all box joint, and they were planters. They were in the snake fence over behind. In each of the little folds, they had a little box filled with earth, and I suppose they were either growing vegetables or flowers or something, ornamental plants. I don't know. But it just happens that a bucket will fit right inside one of these things, so it's just perfect. Rather than me using, one of the 2x10s we have left over from the roof, which are now getting really expensive again, I'd rather not use good dimensional lumber. This will be perfect. So the idea is we'll have a box, I'm going to insulate the outside of it, sit it on top of the hole, and that way when the sun comes out, because this is what's been happening to us, when the sun comes out, even though it's -20 or -25, the dark color, the green on the insulation and the dark color of the OSB board on top is absorbing some sun and some radiation. It's heating up, and it's slowly like melting itself down into the ice. So what I want to do is I'm going to use the insulation. I'm going to have the silver side out inevitably on the outside, because I'm going to do a couple layers, and that way it'll hopefully reflect as much of the sun's rays off of it, so it won't heat up that much itself and sink. But if it does sink, that's okay, because this is about 10 inches deep, this box, and I'm hoping that the idea is that even if it does start to sink in a little bit, that's fine. Before the end of the season, because we only have about 1 or 2 months most before the ice breaks. That will give us enough time so that rather than us having to pry up this board and snap it or have it get covered over in snow, the frame will sit there permanently, and I'm just going to make a little cap for the top of it. So when we come down, we just lift the cap off the box, get our water, put the cap back on, and we don't have to worry about the base of it freezing. It works to our advantage. We'll let it freeze into spot, it'll stay there, the wind won't blow it away. The cap, you'll see I'm going to make it beveled so that it fits nice and snug into the top, so it's just like sticks in airtight relatively. It'll insulate the water inside so that it doesn't freeze over. The silver outing will reflect and hopefully alert people that it's there, so no one drives their snow machine into it. They shouldn't. The trail is about 12 feet away from where our hole is. But anyways, better safe than sorry. And I think that'll just be a little more convenient. We don't have to worry about freezing, and we don't have to worry about like when the weather comes up and starts to thaw and we get a little bit of rain or whatever, then it's basically covering everything with water, and then it freezes again, and then we're back to square one where I'm using the axe trying to chip all this stuff out of the ice. So small potatoes important to us.
So today is a very exciting day. Al is going to be making us California blinds. So that's something we had talked about doing for our final home, but I do think it's going to look really nice on this window as well, and it's nice that it'll be matchy-matchy as well. Al's dad actually made them for an entire back porch that they had for the house that he grew up in. So we had bought a kit, but the width of the cedar boards that we're using don't fit it. So Al's dad has built them before, so he's pretty sure that he can just build them without the kit and just use some of the dowels and some of the things that we have here from other projects. So pretty pumped. I've always wanted California blinds, and it's going to be really wonderful that Al made them himself. It's just adds that extra specialness to it.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm.
Just wanted to show you the work in progress with our little Luber Fancy Pants shutters. I'll hook this up so that they all move in unison, but just wanted to show you things that we had to work around, right? Make sure that we can open up the lever, that we can fully rotate it without it hitting the frame or hitting the louvers, and as well the locks at either side. Wanted to make sure we had room to get to those. And we're almost there. Pushing me up
the top.